Hello, Squirrel Tribe. So listen, this is unbelievably shocking. I was in the middle of trying to finish up another video, title, thumbnail, all that other kind of jazz. And I came across this and I had to stop what I was doing so that you guys could see what I saw. Now the video I'm working on currently, trying to figure out how to visually put it together, you guys are definitely gonna wanna see it. I will warn you, it is definitely a triggering topic, which is why I'm having trouble figuring out how to title this thing, because it's definitely polarizing, but it's a conversation that needs to be had by everybody. So make sure when that one comes out, you guys check that one out. But first, so since the debate, I feel like we're in this weird little, Twilight Zone seems to be the phrase I go back to very often when talking about where we are as a country, especially talking about when it comes to the left and Democrats and whatnot. I feel like we are in a different kind of Twilight Zone since the debate, where even the Democrats like CNN, they're pulling back and they're like, I don't know if this man's really fit to run this country or not. I feel like people are backpedaling on how great President Joe Biden is. And now they're kind of like, yeah, he might be getting a little old. Yeah, it might be time for new blood to step in. But of course, they don't mean Trump. They still mean new blood as in a Democrat. But which one? Is it going to be Kamala? Is it going to be Hillary? Who knows? Heaven forbid Michelle Obama, because we know how much people love Michelle Obama, Big Mike. But I worry about where we are as a country. I mean, financially, economic wise, it's going to be interesting what happens in 2024. So Democrats are saying that the biggest issue for them when it comes to voting is the stance on abortion. But I digress. We can talk about that in a different video, but this right here, this is hot. And I'm gonna show you guys what Kevin just told me. But first, let me read you these headlines from the New York Times. Up first we have here comes the K-Hive. Buzz for Kamala Harris grows after Biden's debate stumble. The vice president is receiving support from both prominent Democrats and social media fans who show their enthusiasm with coconut tree emojis. Okay. Then we have Biden faces pressure amid 2024 debate fallout. Watch White House briefing live. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre is scheduled to talk to reporters during the administration's regularly scheduled briefing. And also here we've got live election updates. Poll shows slipping support. Biden to meet with Democratic governors. The president was absolutely not considering withdrawing from the 2024 race, his press secretary told reporters as the administration worked to alleviate the panic within the Democratic Party. If not President Biden, then who? Democrats and donors are pondering who could be the best alternative to take on Donald Trump after faltering attempts to calm nerves following last week's debate. Next, we have Biden tells allies he knows he has only days to salvage candidacy. The president's conversations are the first indication that he is seriously considering whether he can recover after a devastating performance on the debate stage in Atlanta. The White House said the report was false. Now, keep in mind, these are all New York Times headlines. This one might be my favorite. Opinion: Kamala Harris could win this election. Let her. The vice president is the obvious path out of the mess Joe Biden has created. And then, this one, you'll love it. Jeff Bezos to sell $5 billion of Amazon shares after stock hits record high. Proposed sale of 25 million shares disclosed in notice on Tuesday after stock hit an all-time high of $200.43 during session. So with Jeff Bezos selling off shares or stocks, or however you guys want to phrase it, during this whole kind of wishy-washy moment within the Democratic Party between Biden and Kamala, the question I have obviously is he worried about stock prices plummeting if Kamala somehow makes it up into the main seat in the Oval Office? Is he worried about Biden retaining his seat in the Oval Office? Why right now is the time to run out and sell billions of shares? Now, as promised, here is what Kevin told me. And not Kevin247, but Meet Kevin.
Hey everyone, this is pretty crazy. Kamala Harris is presently beating Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee. Apparently, the New York Times is now leaking that Joe Biden has had conversations about whether or not he should resign. Now, keep in mind what that word
Let me just really quickly stop and say that I feel like a grapefruit could be beating Joe Biden right now. So the fact that they're saying Kamala Harris is beating him doesn't really say much to me. Anybody could beat him. Any inanimate object at this point would probably do a better job than he would. So we'll just continue on from there.
Word resign would mean. The White House, by the way, I just want to preface this by saying is denying it right now. They're saying they only have 7 minutes to clarify with the New York Times, and they're angry that the New York Times would run this story. It's like, okay.
The White House never wants to clarify anything. The White House is always angry about something. Maybe they're angry because they got scooped by the New York Times. They let the cat out of the bag first. Who knows?
Okay. 7 minutes should be plenty of time to clarify what the heck is going on, because this whole video is going to be less than 7 minutes long.
You need more than 7 minutes to clarify when you're scrambling to pull your head out your butt because you don't really know what to say or what to do because you've started this whole shitstorm or shit show in the presidency.
It's going to be less than 7 minutes long. Anyway, let's just be clear. If Joe Biden is considering resigning, because even now Obama and Nancy Pelosi are suggesting, hey, maybe we need to consider something else for the Democratic Party, that might mean we actually could have a President Kamala Harris, the first woman president ever, potentially tomorrow, because I think tomorrow would be the day to do it, 4th of July, and we would have a President Kamala Harris from July 4th, 2024 to January, 21st, 2025.
Here's what would happen. If Joe Biden resigns tomorrow and Kamala Harris takes over and is the first female president, she will solidify that she will be the only female president because she will run this place into the ground in less time than it took Biden to destroy this country, and we will never have the opportunity for another woman in the Oval Office again. Horrible idea.
2025. That would be A, historic, B, shocking, and C would mean we're setting up for a fight between Trump and Harris. Now, the odds that Harris is going to be the nominee...
You wouldn't be setting up a fight between Trump and Harris because technically, I think how it works is if she were to take over right now because Biden resigns, it doesn't automatically make her the nominee for the November 5th ballot. So I don't know that it'd be between the two of them. And if it was between the two of them, it would be an easy shoo-in for Trump. So maybe that is what we want.
The odds that Harris is going to be the nominee, not necessarily the bestowed upon president, but the nominee right now, are about 48 cents to Joe Biden's 33 cents. So in other words, Kamala Harris just flipped Joe Biden. She is now the more likely nominee. And then, of course, Donald Trump still sits at about 58 cents to Kamala's, maybe if you add everything combined, 44 cents. So Donald Trump does have a lead here, but this is crazy, and I think the next 24 hours, let's call it 36 hours, to the end of July 4th, are going to give us all of the answers we're looking for. This is absolutely wild. Everything is changing very rapidly, but so far it looks like we're getting Kamala for at least the nominee. See you soon in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
I don't even know what to say about that. I'm not even gonna lie. I will say that after the debate, I expected things to go a little wonky in the Democratic Party. I would not expect them to willingly hand the reins over to Kamala Harris, though. I feel like they would weekend at Bernie Joe Biden, basically. They would find a way to prop him up and keep him moving for the next however long he needs to be in office just to ensure that there isn't this massive change. That's how I would do it anyway. But Kamala Harris, I mean, they're saying that she has overtaken him and that they want her in office more than him. So anything is possible. I don't know what that would really mean for the country, though. Yeah, I mean, it would be unbelievably historic, obviously, if Joe Biden were to weirdly resign and Kamala Harris take over on the 4th of July, Independence Day, 4th of July, Independence Day, literally less than 24 hours away, literally less than 24 hours away. It would be absolutely historic and beyond shocking, I'm not even gonna lie, if something like that were to transpire. And I feel like it would change how people viewed Independence Day and 4th of July from here on out if the President of the United States decided to jump ship and hand it over to his less, well, I don't even know if she's less qualified because neither one of them are really qualified at this point. Then again, Joe Biden did surprise us all on Easter, if you remember correctly. It's possible he'll decide to surprise us on this holiday as well.
To everyone celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility, I want you to know that your president sees you. Jill, Kamala, Doug, our entire administration sees you for who you are. made in the image of God and deserving of dignity, respect, and support. But we know it's hard.
On this Easter Sunday, taking you out to Washington, D.C., giving you a live look out at the White House now at 8. And we are following some breaking news as it relates to President Biden. According to our content partners over at the Associated Press, President Joe Biden is facing criticism this morning from Donald Trump's campaign and religious conservatives for proclaiming March 31st, which corresponds with Easter Sunday this year, as Transgender Day of Visibility.
Every year for the past several years, on March 31st, Transgender Day of Visibility is marked. And as we know, for folks who understand the calendar and how it works, Easter falls on different Sundays, right? Every year. And this year it happened to coincide with Transgender Visibility Day. And so that is the simple fact. That is what has happened. That is where we are. And I do want to say a couple of things because I think it's important here. As you just stated in your questions, what we've been hearing out there, a lot of misinformation done on purpose. And as a Christian who celebrates Easter with family, President Biden stands for bringing people together and upholding the dignity and freedoms of every American.
The Democratic president issuing the proclamation Friday, calling on all Americans to join us in lifting up the lives and voices of transgender people throughout our nation and to work toward eliminating violence and discrimination based on gender identity. Again, that quote coming from the Biden White House, a White House proclamation as it relates to this. There it is on your screen, showing you what I just read off. We do know, though, back in 2024, as it relates to this year, the March 31st designation overlaps with Easter today, one of Christianity's holiest celebrations.
To everyone celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility, I want you to know that your president sees you. Jill, Kamala, Doug, our entire administration sees you for who you are, made in the image of God and deserving of dignity, respect, and support. But we know it's hard.
Now, I really want to know what you guys think about this, so I will be reading every single comment. So make sure you leave your thoughts and opinions below for all of us. Democrats have to do something because doing nothing is not really an option. They have to do something. They have to do something to retain and instill confidence in voters, and not just the black ones either. So Joe Biden resigning, in essence making Kamala Harris president now, is what they need to do or have to do. Because honestly, anything else would just be like a whole lot of talk or word salad or whatever until the DNC. It's crazy. No matter how you look at it, it's crazy. Don't forget to leave me your thoughts and opinions below. Y'all know I'm gonna read through all of them. Love you all. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.